Good evening, everybody. From Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, we bid you welcome to Reds baseball. The Reds and the Pirates wrapping up the two-game series on a beautiful night for baseball in the Steel City as two right-handers go to the mound. Mike Lacasse, Jim Bibby, the same matchup that we saw in the final game of the series in Cincinnati. We'll be back to take a look at the starting lineups in just a moment. If you're ready now, the starting lineups tonight for the Cincinnati Reds, leading off and playing center field, will be Cesar Geronimo. Batting second at shortstop, Dave Concepcion. Ken Griffey will play right field and bat third. Hitting fourth, George Foster in left field. Danny Dreesen will play first base and bat fifth. Hitting number 6 at third base, Ray Knight. Johnny Bench will catch and bat number 7. Hitting 8th, Junior Kennedy at second base. And batting ninth, the Reds pitcher, right-hander Mike Lacasse. Again for Cincinnati, it's Geronimo in center field, Concepcion at shortstop, and Griffey in right field. Foster in left, Dreesen at first base, Knight at third, with Bench catching, Kennedy at second, and Lacasse on the mound. For the homestanding Pirates, to lead it off, Omar Marino in center field. Tim Foley at shortstop will hit second. Dave Parker, the right fielder, hit third. Willie Stargell will hit fourth and play first base. Batting number 5, left fielder Mike Easler. Phil Garner will play third base and bat number 6. Ed Ott will do the Pirates catching and bat 7. Hitting 8th at second base, Dale Berra. And batting ninth, the Pirate pitcher, right-hander Jim Bibby. Once again for the Pirates, it's Marino in center field, Foley at shortstop, and Parker in right field. Stargell at first base, Easler in left field, Garner at third. Well, the bottom third once again for the Bucks will have Ott catching, Berra at second, and Bibby pitching. The first pitch is up high for a ball, and this game is underway. Cesar hitting .275, a home run, 5 runs batted in. Bibby with a 1-0 pitch to the plate. Geronimo swings and pops it up. That's going to be in play at Ott. At the plate, circling, moving off to his left, and he makes the catch. Geronimo, second pitch hitting a high pop-up to catcher Ed Ott, and that brings up Red shortstop Dave Concepcion, who today celebrates a birthday. Well, Davey hoping that he can have a memorable night at the plate on this, his 32nd birthday. Red shortstop batting .219, 2 home runs, and 22 RBIs. He's 6 for 17 against Pirates pitching. Davey takes a strike. For the Pirates defensively, they've got Stargell at first, Garner at second, Berra at third base, and Foley at shortstop. The outfield featuring Easler in left, Marino in center, Parker in right, and Ott behind the plate. Concepcion line drives a base hit into left field. Now Davey aboard as he takes a turn and holds at first base with a line single to left, and the hitter will be right fielder Ken Griffey. Griffey extending his hitting streak in the opening game last night to 11 games. He went to his final at-bat. That was, or his next to last at-bat as things turned out, at a single to center in the 8th. Now Griffey with an 11-game hitting streak in which he's been hitting at a .308 clip, going 16 for 52 with 7 RBIs, and has also hit in the last 22 consecutive games he's started. Only thing that kept that from being a bona fide hitting streak was in a game in which he did not start. He pinch hit and failed to get a hit. Davey leading at first, a pitch to Griffey in the dirt and outside, ball 1. Reds are 32-28 playing game number 61. The Pirates are 34-24 involved in game number 59. Pirate infield, a double play depth, runner at first, 1 out. 2 balls and no strikes. Now the Pirates with a winning percentage of .586. Montreal 33-23 with a winning percentage of .589. Well, that's how close the Eastern Division is, with Philadelphia now only a game and a half back. They beat the Dodgers in 12 innings in Los Angeles last night, 3-2. Griffey takes at the knees, a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Steve Fields, a plate umpire at first. Harry Wendelstedt, Eric Gregg at second. Bruce Fleming at third. Geronimo has popped up to the catcher. Concepcion a single to left, and Griffey waiting on Bibby's 2-1 pitch. Bibby turns and throws on to Stargell. Concepcion back. Another West Coast game last night. The San Diego Padres beat the New York Mets. Another throw to first. Davey back with the right hand this time. Griffey away from the plate with a count of 2-1, and now slowly settling back in as Bibby looks down to Ed Ott for the sign. Outfield shading Kenny just a bit around toward right. Long pause in the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes with George Foster coming up next. Talk when Bibby worked against the Reds in Cincinnati. He is by no means what you would call a fast worker on the mound. Fellow who perspires profusely when he's working, but tonight a low humidity, comfortable evening here in Pittsburgh. There's another throw to first base. Griffey with a .299 batting average, 5 home runs, and 2 of them have come off Pirate pitching this season. Check swing as Dave Concepcion bluffed to go to second. Bibby missing downstairs, and he's behind to the batter at 3-1. Griffey making Bibby wait on the mound. Now back into the batter's box. Big Jim nodding his head up and down as he straightens up, comes set. Runner going, pitch is swung on and foul back. So Concepcion will return to first base as the count goes full on Ken Griffey at 3-2. This road trip, the Pirates will be starting tomorrow, will be their longest of the season. They'll be in Atlanta, Houston, St. Louis, and Montreal before coming back to Pittsburgh. Runner going, swung on, fly ball, hit to left center. Marino on the move, and he's there to make the catch for the second out. Well, Griffey flies to center with 2 away in the inning. Ball getting through on the throw into second base, but Willie Stargell picks it up as he moves in toward the mound. And here's George Foster.
Number 15, George Foster.
Foster batting .223 as we begin play tonight. He's homered 8 times. He's driven in 30 runs. Driving in some runs of late. He's had 6 RBIs now in his last 7 ball games. And in the opening game last night, had a base hit and 4 times up. So Bibby working to Foster with 2 down. Concepcion at first here in the first inning. George takes a strike. And one of the big topics of conversation with the Pirate players is what in the world is wrong with George Foster with a low batting average. There's a throw to first again. Phil Garner was talking about it down on the field before the game tonight. And the Pirates would be very, very thankful if George waited to start hitting until after the Reds left town. Ground ball toward shortstop. Foley moving in toward second to make the play. Throws on to Phil Garner, and they thought there was only 1 away in the inning. They get the force play at second. Garner came on to Stargell with a throw, but all they needed was a force out at second base, which they got to end the Reds first. No runs, 1 hit and 1 left, and after a half inning of play, Reds nothing, Pirates are coming up.
And his first pitch on the way. Foster swings and misses a high fastball. The 0-1. George swings and lines it foul off the third base line. Well, Bibby in front. No balls, 2 strikes to George Foster. George out of the batter's box. Now steps back in. Bibby has his sign. Now Foster backs away from the plate. George back in. Bibby ready. Delivers the 0-2. Swung on. It's bounced up the middle, and that will go on into center field, a base hit. So Foster leads off the 4th with the 4th hit of the game for the Reds. Bouncing one into center. That'll bring Danny Dreesen to the plate. Danny looked at a called 3rd strike, leading off the 2nd inning. Mason hitting .295 with 6 home runs and 32 RBIs. Stargell off the bag at first with Foster. The pitch to Dreesen. Dan takes it outside and low ball. Again the stretch. Pitch. Dreesen again takes low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Bench on deck. Pirates scoring a run in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, leading 3-0. Pittsburgh has had 6 hits, the Reds 4. Pitch to Dreesen. Dan takes ball 3. 3-0 the count out of Dreesen. Bibby, a start for the sign and the stretch. 3-0 delivery. Dreesen swings and pulls it foul down the right field line. That'll drift back into the seats. Count 3-1 to Dan Dreesen. Parker and Garner going after the ball, but that ball well back into the seats. Pirate outfield playing Danny to pull, as is the infield. 3-1 on the way. Dreesen swings and pops this one up. Might be playable. Out off of the mask over near the Pirate dugout, and that one hits on top of the dugout. The count full to Danny Dreesen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Foster at first base. George led off the inning with a bouncing single into center. Bibby nods the okay to the sign. And the 3-2. Dreesen swings and misses. Second time that Dreesen is struck out. Second strikeout for Bibby. 1 away, and Johnny Bench the batter. John singled to left center in the 2nd inning. Bench a .252 batting average, 9 home runs and 23 RBIs. It'll be the stretch and the pitch. Bench swings and pulls it foul. Oh, 0-1 to Johnny Bench. Foster at first base leads. The stretch by Bibby. And the 0-1 swung on, and that's fouled over the Pirate dugout. Well, Bibby in front, 0-2 to Johnny Bench. Bibby nods the okay to the sign. The 0-2. Bench takes it outside. A slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bibby to the belt. Checks Foster. Pitches. Swung on and fouled. Straight back. Ray Knight waiting on deck with one out. Bibby goes to the rosin bag and now steps back onto the pitching rubber and looks into his catcher. Sets. The 1-2. Bench swings and a broken bat line to the center. That's a base hit. Foster will move to second and hold right there. So 2 on with 1 out for Ray Knight. Bench's second hit of the game. And hit number 5 for the Reds. Ray Knight sent Easler to the 375 mark in left center field to haul in his fly ball in the second inning. Knight hitting .273, 6 home runs and 35 RBIs. He leads the Reds in that department. Maybe the stretch in the pitch. Knight swings and drills it down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. Bouncing up off the fence. Easler with the ball. Scoring is Foster, and it's a 3-1 ball game as Bench moves around to third, and Ray Knight has his 18th double of the year and his 36th RBI. The Reds now with 6 hits in the game, and activity down in the Pirate bullpen. Scurry throwing. Ron Scurry, a left-hander. Pirates leading 3-1, but Junior Kennedy at the plate. A chance to tie it up. Junior in the second inning forced Bench at second base for the final out. Mike Lacoste on deck. Bibby will work from the windup. Infield is back. The pitch on the way, and Kennedy takes high and inside a ball. Junior a .287 batting average with a home run, 21 RBIs. Bibby looks over at Bench, winds and delivers. Kennedy takes high again. 2-0 the count. Omar Moreno in shallow in center field. 2-0 delivery. Swung on, fly ball, right field. That should score Bench. Dave Parker waiting on it. He has it. The throw will come in, but Johnny scores easily standing, and it's 3-2 as Knight moves on to third base. Well, Kennedy, a sacrifice fly, picks up his 22nd RBI of the year.
It is the 9th inning for John McNamara's Cincinnati Reds, who need to get something going by way of run production. They are 3 outs away from going down to their 4th consecutive loss on this road trip. And perfect hitting Johnny Bench will be the man to lead it off against Enrique Romo, who allowed a 2-out 8th inning single to George Foster, but then got Dreesen to ground out to Willie Stargell at first base. Bench 3 for 3. 3 singles and a run scored in the game. Bench now hitting at .261, 9 home runs, 23 RBIs. He's homered 1 time on the road trip in St. Louis. That was in the opening game, and once again it's Jackson and Tekulve. Familiar twosome in the Pirate bullpen while John McNamara gets Tommy Hume up. Romo's first 9th inning pitch, and Bench with a half swing liner foul into the seats down the right field line. Just misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Romo with 3 saves. Ray Knight waiting on deck as Romo throws 1-1 to the plate. Bench takes it on the inside corner. That pitch looked too much inside to constitute a strike, and Bench will discuss it with Steve Fields. Looked well off the plate inside. That's low. 2-2. Control of both Bibby and Romo have been excellent. Pirate pitching has not issued a walk in the game. And in a game as closely contested as one such as this, that can be a very important factor. Bench now will step away from the plate. Romo goes to the rosin bag. Looks to Ott and brings a break-even pitch on up there. High, deep drive to left field. We've got a tie game. Johnny Bench got every inch of it as he drives a 2-2 pitch over the left field wall for his 10th home run of the season, and the Reds have drawn even at 3-3. So Johnny Bench with career home run number 309 as a catcher, putting him 4 short of Yogi Berra's major league record. And no doubt at all about that one. Bill Robinson, the left fielder, never even turned around. So we start from scratch. Fourth home run this season that Romo has surrendered. He'll now face Ray Knight. Ball 1. Knight has fly to deep left center, double the run home, and fly to left. Boy, what a night Bench has had. 3 singles and a home run, his 10th of the season. Now back, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, that blow takes Michael Acasa off the hook and will deprive Jim Bibby of winning his 8th game of the season. This game now in the hands of Enrique Romo and Paul Mosco. But now with Knight at the plate, Kennedy coming up next, and then Paul Mosco, we will in all likelihood see a pinch hitter for Paul in just a few moments. Way up high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Romo throwing the ball in, getting another one from Fields. 2-1 on Knight, who missed hitting one out of here to left center by just a few feet back in the 2nd inning. He fouls it back, and the count evens at 2-2. Well, the life of a relief pitcher probably has more ups and downs than any other position in Major League Baseball. You check Bruce Sutter out. Leads the league in saves with 13, but aside from that, really not having the kind of year that people expect out of Sutter. A high earned run average up in the high 3s, and one day you got it, one day you don't. Low inside, 3-2. Well, if Ray Knight gets on, we can look for Chuck Tanner to come out. Bench is homered leading off the 9th to tie it up. And Romo has run the string out on Knight at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a payoff pitch. And a high fly ball hit back into deep left field. Might be back-to-back home runs. It is. Ray Knight drives one over the wall in left field, and the Reds lead at 4-3 on back-to-back 9th inning home runs. Knight gets his 7th of the season. as the Reds jump out in front on long ball power by Johnny Bench and Ray Knight. Davey had hits his first 2 times to the plate, and since then has grounded to third and fly to center. Reds 4, Pirates 3 in the ninth. Mosco at second, 2 out. Davey swings, fly ball, right center field. Coming hard, Marino, and he runs it down. Cincinnati coming back in the ninth on those back-to-back home runs by Johnny Bench and Ray Knight. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 left. Mosco now has to do the job after 8.5. The Reds 4, the Pirates 3. Up high, 2-0. Well, again, as we made reference to it in St. Louis Sunday, this is the kind of fellow that you have to throw strikes to. And Mosco can't do it. 3-0. His chances of hitting the ball out on you are very small. You cannot allow him to get on the easy way, and that's by a walk. If he gets on, he's got a base hit you. And Paul now needs a strike because he's behind 3-0. He gets it over. Strike call. Marino didn't agree with the call. He settles back in there, and the pitch. He popped him up. Ray Knight behind third and foul ground. 2 out. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network. 2 down. Mosco retiring Robinson on a fly to center. Marino on a pop foul to third, and now John Milner, left-handed batter, hitting for Foley. He bounces over the mound, and there's Kennedy with a play, throwing to first. This one belongs to the Reds. Excellent job by Paul Mosco. He pitches 3 perfect innings tonight. And on the back-to-back home runs by Bench and Knight in the top of the ninth, the Reds come from behind to win it 4-3. We'll be back in just a moment. Good win for the Reds tonight. They went to the ninth inning down by 1 before coming up with those home runs to win it 4-3. And early on in the game, Mike Lacasse appeared to be having a lot of problems. The Pirates came up with 3 runs on a total of 6 hits off the right-hander in the first 3 innings. But he really settled down over the final 3 innings of work by limiting the Pirates to no runs on 2 hits. In the first inning, Omar Marino reached him for a leadoff double and later scored on a base hit by Dave Parker. And then the Pirates scored twice in the third inning, one of those runs unearned. Marino led off with a single, was promptly thrown out stealing by Johnny Bench. Tim Foley laced a base hit to left field, but Dave Parker grounded to second. They got the force on Foley at second base. But Willie Stargell scored Parker from first with the second Pirate run of the night by ramming a double to deep left center field. Mike Eastler was then given an intentional walk, and a Lacasse wild pitch advanced runners at second and third. Then Phil Garner hit a ground ball to Dave Concepcion at shortstop, which should have gotten the Reds out of the inning, but Davey's throw was high to Danny Dreesen. The runner was safe at first, and Stargell came across with the unearned run to give the Pirates a 3-0 lead. The Reds went to work on Jim Bibby in the fourth inning. George Foster singled. A later one-out base hit by Johnny Bench and a double to left field by Ray Knight made it 3-1, and Junior Kennedy's sacrifice fly made it a 1-run affair at 3-2. That's the way it stood going to the ninth inning. As I pointed out, Lacasse pitched over the last 3 innings fine baseball before turning it over to Paul Mosco. He got the Pirates out in order in the 7th and the 8th. Then in the 9th inning with Enrique Romo on the mound, Johnny Bench homered over the left field wall for his 4th hit of the night and his 10th home run of the season. That tied it. And then Romo went 3-2 on Ray Knight. Knight cracked one out of here to left field, his 7th of the season, and the Reds had untied it and had gone out in front 4-3. Kennedy bounced out. Mosco had a base hit off Romo before Grant Jackson came on to retire Geronimo and Concepcion and send the game to the last of the ninth. Bill Robinson fly to center. Marino popped up foul to Knight, and Mosco nailed it down by getting pinch hitter John Milner on a ground ball to second base. The Reds had 4 runs, 11 hits with an error. They left 7. The Pirates 3 runs, 8 hits, errorless baseball, and they stranded 8. So Mosco wins it. He's now 5-1. Romo loses it. He is now 3-2. So the Reds are now 2-3 so far through 5 of the 7 on this road trip, and they'll open up a brief 2-game series at Wrigley Field tomorrow as Charlie Lebrand goes after his 7th victory of the season against Chicago right-hander Dennis Lamb. We'll be on the air with the pregame shows tomorrow and most of these same stations beginning at 2 o'clock Cincinnati time. Again, the final tonight in a game that took 2 hours and 49 minutes to play before a crowd of 26,750. The Reds 4 and the Pirates 3.